When did you realize that you were the problem? Jobs always seem to go south 3 or 4 months in. Ah yes, end of the honeymoon period. I didn't realize being a supervisor at a homeless shelter would be so stressful. When I got punched, and everyone went and shook the hand of the puncher. TF did you do? Okay, now that's when you know. I noticed my friends were all getting happier, advancing in life, and I wasn't. Courage to say this. I don't have any friends, so I've had to accept that it's me that's the problem, monsieur. Most people are not initiators, and if you want to build friendships you need to be doing most of the initiating. The sooner you learn that, the easier it'll be. At what point is it appropriate to call it quits? I mean, if one is shouting at an interactive wall, rarely seeing or getting a meaningful answer. I was insanely shy in school, like almost fully debilitating social anxiety. It was especially bad in high school when the kids I was at least comfortable eating lunch with went to a different middle school. I saw everyone else as being all-knowing and confident, and having some sort of secret script to know the right thing to say. If someone tried to start a conversation with me, my thought process would be, oh god, why are they talking to me? There must be some hidden agenda, and just try to get out of the conversation as fast as possible. Then this one graduating senior I was mildly acquainted with for some reason dropped to me that people thought I was stuck up. That was mind-blowing to me. Couldn't everyone tell that they were the confident ones and I was terrified of them? Well no, they couldn't. It was an epiphany that wow, other people are actually worried about what I think of them, just like I'm worried about what they think. And if you avoid talking to people, that's actually hurtful. The same thing happened to my mom. She didn't have social anxiety so much as she was shy. And one day someone told her that she was stuck up, and always had her nose in the air. She didn't realize how her shyness came off to people. I was insanely shy until I was about 15. Someone told me that everyone thought I was stuck up. Then I decided I'd rather have people think I was an idiot than arrogant, and just started talking to everyone. Now I'm in my 30s and I still have my panic moments of OMG, I'm going to say the wrong thing, but I get through it, and now people comment on how friendly and easy to talk to I am, monsieur. I realized I have a hand in every situation in my life, that I am always responsible for myself. Any situation I encounter I have a choice as to how to handle, respond, and perceive it. I was probably 17 when I realized blaming everyone else for my issues is what my parents do, and I don't want to be anything like them. So I took a step back. I used to blame every issue I had on anything and everything I could find. Every apology was filled with excuses, diluting and justifying my conduct, until one day I realized that people don't want excuses, they want apologies. And so then I learned to fix that. Then I realized people don't want apologies either. They would prefer if problems and arguments didn't happen in the first place. I realized I was the problem a few years back when I had the coolest therapist in the world. She would say how she couldn't possibly give her about my feelings, she only cared about results for me. Coolest lady ever, and I miss her so much. Anyway, she told me a saying, and the saying goes, you have every right to be angry but you have no right to be mean. My life got so much better after that. Edit. OMG, I did not expect this post to blow up like this. You all are too kind. For the record, she is not my therapist anymore because she had no benefits in the position that had her give me therapy. Health dental real people needs. She ended up referring me to someone else, and she went to go work with prison inmates. Lucky inmates. I really like this. Thank you for sharing. Managing my anger is very hard, but using that as a mantra is going to help me. Realizing I was very toxic towards Sooo. Broke up with my partner after having the same discussion for 2 months without getting close to resolving it. My main reason for breaking up was that he was not able to have constructive conversations in order to work conflicts out. When we decided to meet up 2 days after the breakup and have one last conversation, we both realized that the topic of our fighting has not been the issue, but that our way of interacting with each other had become super toxic. for me it was a shock that my behavior was very problematic too. So we got back together, and are working hard to be in a healthy relationship with each other. Edit. Reading through the comments, I feel like I need to add some information to explain why I decided to give our relationship a second chance. I love my Sooo, but because of our inability to resolve discussions on small things, I felt we were not compatible. Before we had our last conversation, I was fully convinced he was the problem, not me, but then we talked and self-reflected, and I realized my behavior is at times terrible too. We also realized our style of showing affection is different, so we do not always notice the full extent of one showing affection to the other, which creates insecurities on both sides. We decided we do not want to treat each other like that, and both felt really willing to work on it together regardless of it working out. If it does, great. If it doesn't and we break up, that's okay too. I do this for me because I feel like it is important for my personal growth regardless if we stay together or not. Yeah, in a relationship what you are fighting about is almost never what you are fighting about. You don't fight over toothpaste and the dishwasher. You only really fight about things that really matter to you, that they represent. If the argument is about toothpaste, the argument is not about toothpaste. The trick is to figure out what the argument really is about. Fairly recently realized I'm fat because I'm unhappy, and I'm unhappy because I'm fat. Either way, I'm the only one who can fix it, and I have start giving a. I had a similar realization. A lot of things that hold me back are related to my insecurities, and a huge insecurity I've had all my life is my weight. I won't let it anymore. Recently, whenever I'm angry at my girlfriend and discussing it with her, all she does is apologize, over and over again. First it made me think that yeah, maybe I'm justified in my anger because she's so apologetic, when in actuality my mood swings are becoming more and more frequent, and I'm getting more and more angry over the dumbest. A few days ago it hit me why I never see changes in her behavior I keep finding different and increasingly inconsequential to get mad about, regardless of what she does. Made me take a couple steps back and reevaluate my behavior. Edit. Thanks for the medals guys, but most importantly thank you kind strangers for all of your positivity and advice. If I thought I was aware of my actions before this buoy, did these responses really open my eyes? If you or a loved one is experiencing something similar, take the steps to fix it now before it's too late. I am extremely fortunate to have such a patient and loving girlfriend, who makes all of this possible. I really can't express how much she makes all of this possible. It's only through her patience and our many discussions about it that we've had breakthroughs. Love yourself and others unconditionally, and surround yourself with others that do too, and changes will start to take hold. For clarity, I'm not clinically diagnosed. However, my father is manic bipolar, and I'm his carbon copy. I've been fortunate to have a case study in him my whole life. Fairly certain that I'll receive a similar diagnosis when I began seeking professional help. My ex-husband did this to me all the time. This is what it's like from the other person's point of view. I got yelled at for not cleaning the water from the top of the metal between the two sinks. I didn't tuck in a chair, and rather than him saying something like, "Can you please tuck in the chair? It really bugs me." Quote, he got up, aggressively tucked it in with an angry grunt, turned to me and went off on how tired he is working and then going to the gym, and he has no energy to clean up after a pig like me. Every Friday on the way home from work, I'd have a nervous conversation with myself, call him and ask if he wants a taco salad too, or just decide. If I did call, I'd get, "Why do you have to ask me about everything? Don't you have a brain?" Quote, if I didn't call, I'd get, "What? You can read my mind? Don't make decisions for me." We had a deal that if I missed my bus home from work, he'd pick me up from the train, a 3-minute drive from home, rather than wait 25 minutes for the next bus or walk 20 minutes uphill home. If he was in the middle of cooking, he'd answer the phone angry, pick me up, not wanting to say hi or kiss me. So, I stopped calling for a ride. Once, I waited 25 minutes, in the rain with without an umbrella as I had lost mine and forgotten to buy a new one, and then walked 5 minutes from the bus stop home in the rain. When I got in the door, he yelled at me for not calling "Hi, monsieur." "What? You think I'm such a bad husband that I want you to get soaking wet rather than call me? Or are you trying to make me look like a bad husband? Nothing I did was right." It's quite abusive behavior. If you are truly changing this, good on you. My ex-husband never realized he was the issue. I always did the wrong thing and he always felt he was right to blame me, yell at me, and call me names. Just ended my relationship like this 2 days ago and feel so relieved. I was in your same position and finally had enough. It's sobering to read similar experiences. I am very lazy and my husband does a lot of housework and watching our child. I sleep a lot. The reason behind this is depression. I'm not just trying to be in, but I seriously feel incapable of doing anything on some days. Well, we got into a fight once because he was saying that he is overwhelmed and could I just do the dishes because that would help. I was arguing, "Don't you understand that I just don't feel capable of doing the dishes?" After that argument I was sitting there thinking about it and realized the toll I was taking on. "Hi, monsieur." I also realized how bad my depression had gotten. Got up and did the dishes and made a therapist appointment the next day. I've been doing the dishes every day since. It's small and I still need to help more, but I finally realized that I was the problem, monsieur. It hurt, man. It really hurts to realize that. I hope you get the help needed, but my advice to you is to make the effort. It will go in part to helping you cope. The task may be annoying, but the guilt is worse. I was really drunk one night, laying in bed trying to sleep, but all I could hear was insane traffic noise. Sometimes I can hear the road through my window, but this was crazy. Sirens, people shouting, tires rumbling. I couldn't understand what they were saying, but the shouting got louder and louder. I opened my eyes to look outside and see WTF was going on. All I can make out is a police car blocking the road and a policeman running towards me. I'd fallen asleep on a mini roundabout. Edit. Since a lot of people are commenting, I wasn't driving. I was walking somewhere before I fell asleep in the road. Possibly home. Possibly to another pub. Who knows? Stop telling me drink driving is bad. Wow, that must have been a quick sober up. Yeah, he did a full 360 at the roundabout. My best friend used to joke that I was creepy, pathetic, and worthless. Then one night they got drunk and confessed they had really meant it all the time. I decided I needed a new best friend and went out and found one. After about a year they let me know I was needy, boring, pathetic, and worthless. Second time was the charm, monsieur. Ouch. This hits home for me. Throughout middle and high school, I would bounce around best friends, and they all eventually had the courage to tell me I was incredibly clingy, boring, and generally uncomfortable to be around. This, of course, didn't stick until my senior year of high school, but eventually I realized that my self-worth and happiness was far too dependent on being around them constantly. Luckily, I'm still close and better friends with some of these friends now, so I did learn better. It's tough to identify problems in one-sided relationships, but in these cases, I was the one who was overbearing and had too high expectations. I'm just glad my friends were nice enough to let me know and not just avoid me. I do wish I changed my social behaviors more quickly, but oh well, that's high school for ya. Hope you're doing better off.